Yeah, back in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Hey, real quick, if you see a notification to update to Windows 11, just ignore that joint. Just go right past it. Just leave it. Windows 10 is fine. Go ahead, Ryan.
All right, this episode is sponsored by Windows 11. Make sure you take your update. This episode is sponsored by Amazon Music Unlimited. This is your opportunity to make that magical playlist, the one that you want to play all day long, that you don't want to skip any music. You can go to Amazon Unlimited right now. You can get your subscription for $7.99, and you can get an Echo Dot for $4.99, which usually costs about $40, but right now there's a special. So go to getamazonmusic.com/trackstars to get your $4.99 Amazon Echo today. All right.
Man, I love you guys. Thank you guys for helping me through that. Basically, what happened is Windows 11 changed all of the settings of OBS. So I had to go back and figure out where all the audio channels were supposed to be. But anyway, doesn't matter now. We have the awesome Miss Ty Scott King in the building with us. What's going on?
What up, y'all? Doctor. It's already been an adventure. Doctor. I'm a doctor.
Yeah, you just helped Ryan out of some of his fears.
Oh yeah, we had a counseling session while we were working on all that.
I'm traveling again, y'all.
Miss Ty Scott, thank you so much for hanging out with us and bearing with all that. Miss Ty Scott King, you're right, Miss Ty. Can you?
Ty, you have convinced me that there are no snakes on a plane. I'm getting on a plane again.
My friend was on that movie. Actually.
Really?
Oh wow!
Oh wow! Does he want you to say his name, or wants to remain anonymous? She. Okay.
Katie Albert.
Okay.
The lady who played, I think, Cat Williams' girlfriend or something. I don't know.
Oh wow!
Was Cat Williams in that movie, or am I
think you're thinking about Soul Plane?
I was like, Cat Williams.
Cat Williams wasn't with Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson. I don't see the two of them getting along.
Like, are you sure she is proud of this film?
Soul Plane, my bad.
All right, Miss Ty.
That's Kevin Hart.
Miss Ty Scott King. Miss Ty Scott King,
yeah.
Can you please tell them how awesome you are? Tell them your story.
Yeah, for sure. I already told them that they can just call me Ty, please, because it's like it's
Ty Scott
so
King.
long.
Yes. Miss Ty Scott King.
So I am a poet and a hip hop artist. I started out in elementary school, actually, in a gifted music program. Learned how to play all kinds of instruments that I don't remember how to play now, except for the piano. And just knew at the age of 8 that I loved to write poetry. Felt like that was my secret passion that I just wanted to keep to myself. And then when I got to high school, people were like, hey, write me a love poem, fix this love poem for me. So I should have been making money actually now when I think back, but I used to help people out with that. After college, moved out to LA, met some really incredible people who are still instrumental in my life today, and started going to a venue called the Poetry Lounge. It's the #1 running poetry spot in the country to this day. And started traveling doing poetry. I know Ryan is like, traveling? You were on a plane?
Why would you do that? Why?
Started traveling as a poet, going to the National Poetry Slams, and just really God was carving out this space for me that was like beyond my wildest dreams. So left LA, moved to Atlanta, started a group called Platinum Souls, was in the group for 8 years. God did a lot of incredible things, Billboard charts, traveling all over the world, all amazing things. And then in 2009, he was like, okay, it's time to leave the group. And I was like, to do what though? Like, thank you for telling me it's time to go, but where is we going, Lord? So I moved to Dothan, Alabama, the smallest city I'd ever lived in my whole life. And God did some amazing things for me there, built me up in ways that I could not have imagined, and allowed poetry and hip hop to resurface in my life. Was on the Billboard charts again with Hart Ramsey, and just had a lot of incredible experiences. Got to go to the Potter's house a few times. And I was like, okay, Lord, like, okay, all right, this is amazing. And just kept traveling from there. And then God allowed me to meet my husband. He's a producer. He's also a chef. So a lot of things, always cooking.
Yeah.
And then we moved out here to LA in 2015, moved full circle back to Cali. And since then, God has just continued to open doors. It blows my mind when I'm like, it's been like legit 20 something years that I've been doing this, and I'm grateful that people still want to interview me, still want to feature me on stuff, still give me platforms. It's a blessing, and so that's everything in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful.
Yeah, that is good. That's really good. What you about to say, Sean? Are you about to say something?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I think for us, like us in the Atlanta scene, knew about Platinum Souls. So talk about how that got started, because I know I've been down here since '99ish, and I remember running into you guys at events and shows and seeing you guys do stuff, the Holy Hip Hop Awards. But just talk about how did you get into that group with Ricardo Flow? How y'all started that and everything?
Yeah, for sure. So actually, what people don't know is that we were trying to make the group 4 of us. So with me, Flo, a singer named Netta, and a singer who used to go by J Mall, who now is Aaron J. And actually, on No Greater Love is a song that I recently released. He and I are on that song together. So it was the 4 of us in the beginning. Netta was kind of like, I'm trying to do my own thing. I don't really know, but I'll feature on some stuff. So we did that for a few months. And then we got signed by a label about a year in. By that time, it was the 3 of us, myself, Ricardo, and Aaron. And so we were a trio for about a year and a half. And then Aaron had all these contracts he was signing. He was young, incredibly talented. He was just like, I'm just trying to go with whoever wants to take me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he was just signing his name on every dotted line he could imagine. And one day the people were like, look, we need you to fly to New York and fulfill these contracts. So that left Flo and I. And I was doing poetry. That's what I'd been doing. I always joked and said I had MC fantasies. You know, I would mimic people. But when Jay left the group, I was like, okay, I just felt like God was saying, I need you to step into something else. Like, you've been playing around. Now it's go time.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start rapping. So the first 2 or 3 mixtapes, it was just like, I was trying to find my flow, find my style. But we met actually just at a radio station. At Boogie Bless had a radio show, and he invited me on to do some poetry. Flo and Aaron were there, and Flo and I stayed afterwards and just talked, clicked on a lot of different cylinders. We're like, okay, we'll just work together. We'll help each other. And we did not know it was going to lead to a group. And one day it was like, okay, we think we're a group. I guess we need a name. And people kept saying, you know, I hope y'all go platinum. So we're like, well, if we go platinum, we want to go platinum with souls. And that's where Platinum Souls came from. So it was an incredible 9 years. Definitely had a lot of highs, and just all the road trips, Ryan.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna keep messing with Ryan about this, but I am sensitive to your fears. I don't want to seem insensitive.
Oh no, they're not. I don't. You know.
You okay?
Because they're not really fears.
When we come back, we're gonna talk about Ryan's fear of traveling.
Yeah,
that's the next topic.
But so can you talk to and maybe tell people, like, all right, when they're in situations where, like you said, everything going good, boom, boom, and God says move, how does that make you feel? Because I think sometimes people be in situations and they just like, I gotta stick it out, I gotta do this, and God could be giving you signs to move, but you like the situation. So what would you give advice to somebody of that nature?
Yeah, I know it's hard. What I tell people is that when God said move, career-wise or ministry-wise, I don't like to say career, ministry-wise, it was up here. But in my spirit, like me as a person, not as Ty, who was part of this group, I was here. I needed to be filled up. And so God created an opportunity for me to go to Dothan and just sit, a place where they knew me, but they were like, Pastor Ramsey didn't play that. He's like, look, people need to come here. They're stars, but they need the word. So leave them alone when they come here. So I would encourage anybody who's at that place where you know God is telling you he's making it, whether he's making it uncomfortable or not, because he definitely made it uncomfortable in Platinum Souls. And it was like, or for me, it was like, yeah, I gotta go, because I'm boxed in at this point. if God is saying it, be obedient. There's so many blessings on the other side of our obedience. And because we're scared or we're comfortable, all those things can keep us trapped. Like when I left the group, or when the group ended, let me say it that way, I was like, I don't know if I'll do music. I know I got this poetry book I'm about to release, and I'm good just doing poetry. And he just started giving me songs months in, and I was like, okay, one day I realized I got an album. Okay, I guess I'm gonna drop an album. And it just kept going from there. But God definitely knows the best way for us. So if we can get out of ourselves, push our fear to the side, push our pride to the side, whatever it is, and just be obedient, he has better. And it's hard, it's uncomfortable, it's sad. Like I cried many tears, but now I'm like rejoicing because I see God has so much more in store for me. Yeah. And it wasn't just about more than Platinum Souls. It was just more for Ty that I could never, exceeding abundantly. That's why I named my first album E320. Ephesians 3:20, he will do exceeding abundant above all that we can ask, think, or imagine. And I've seen it.
So any chance of a reunion tour?
That's a good place to ask the question. We actually, when was it? A couple of years ago, the Sanctuary in Atlanta, shout out to Stephen Gibbs. The Sanctuary was one of the places that Platinum Souls ministered at a lot. I think we were probably on the very first Sanctuary show 10, 12 years ago now. And we actually did a show, I think it was 2019. We did a couple songs together at the Sanctuary. And as far as what is in the future, I would say no. But again, God always has the final say. So if he's like, do it, then I'm going to do it because he knows.
Okay. So I have something funny to tell you, Ty. So we used to be co-workers of Boogie Bless. Myself and Sean, we worked at Radio 1, 107.9, 97.5, 102.5 from 2001 to 2009 was how long I was there. How much have you seen urban Christian music progress or change? And are you happy with the state of where it is from when you first started it?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of changes. My husband and I were just talking about it the other day. Like, I'm happy with the fact that the gospel is going for it. Like when I open for a secular artist or I go into a club, I know what I'm there to do. I'm there to spread the gospel. So it doesn't matter to me what people say, as long as the fruit is that souls are impacted. So I'm happy about that part. What makes me nervous, as you know, most people who are following Christian hip hop know about a situation that just became exposed, is that part of it. Like we get so elevated, and I think people have a part in that. Like you can see somebody and treat them a certain way because they're a quote unquote star. So you put people on a pedestal, then people start to get the big head because it's like, well, you're putting me on a pedestal, I deserve to be here. And it gets all crazy. So that's the part that I'm nervous about, is that there aren't enough people, pastors, friends to say, look, I need you to stay grounded. It's not about these things. It's not about getting away with stuff, because ultimately God sees everything that we're doing, and we never really get away with anything. So I am excited about where Christian hip hop is now, or whatever people want to call it, CHH, holy hip hop. But I just want to, my prayer is that people stay grounded and stay connected to people who are really speaking to them as people, not as talent.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Tell everybody what's coming up next for you. Like, what are you working on now? What can we expect?
Yeah, what's coming up next is I'm still promoting No Greater Love, which is the single that Aaron J and I released. And I believe I'll be in Atlanta in a couple months for the Holy Hip Hop Awards. Nominated for a few of those awards. So I'm thankful, and I'd like to be there in hopes of accepting one or two of them and just seeing people, for real, just seeing people. But so still working that project because it's an incredible song, and I really want as many people to hear it as possible. I just released a children's book. It's called How Lily Mist Saved the Lilliputian Tree, tongue twister. So promoting that book for sure. Writing is my base passion. Everything I do comes out of that. So more books, more music, more poetry. It's it's not gonna stop until I die.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So again, tell people how to follow you and support.
Yeah, for sure. You can follow me at tyscottking.com. That will take you to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all things. You can buy the books, you can buy the projects, you can buy the singles. Again, that's tyscottking.com, tyscottking.com.
Awesome. Ty, Miss Ty Scott King. Thank you for hanging
so
out
much.
with us today.
Legendary.
We appreciate Ryan.
Thank you for the counseling.
You good, Ryan. You good.
You in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Yo, what's good? This is Mike Stars from Trackstarz, and if you're a music artist and you haven't already signed up for Nectar distribution, honestly, I don't know what you're doing. So let me tell you about it. You get unlimited uploads of your music throughout the year. You also keep 100% of the rights. You get to use our one-of-a-kind single maximizer tool, in which not only do we push your music to the streaming sites like Spotify, Google Play, and Tidal, but we also push it to music blogs so you can get more eyes on your music. And the best part about it is, it's only $19.99. No, not a month, but a year. Again, what are you doing? I don't know what you're doing with your life. Go ahead and sign up today for Nectar distribution at nectardistro.com, and we'll see you inside.
Hold on. So how you made this? Glow. Dark high when it's time for the glow. One time had a tone when it glow. Yeah, new kid on the block, it's NK. I don't pay, I got my beat on the rock. I've been saved. Them brothers living stuck in a box. I'm uncaged. Big stepping with that glow on the wall. It's not dope. And in the hood, but Satan scheming, I see all trap. God said he's seeking, you will find you, and that's no map. I've been dodging, swerving, switching lanes, that's with no back. I can hear them talking, straight uppercase, that's all cap. I've been giving them my all, you would thought it was summer, how they praying on my phone. Trying to get on what's popping, not gonna get me on my walk. No stepping, ain't king, all think I've been on, yeah.
Stab me in the back, I didn't bleed out. West side, came about the band, brought the team out. Shots up, even when I miss, you get the rebound. Why you asking me how I'ma make it, you don't see how. K-Zo, I got my bread like pesos. I got my back, a rich city Latino. I came up a prom king, I ain't get a veto. My joy been stolen, I'm pulling on Rico. Read it back and they got my highlights on replay. I been on my grind, yeah, I been on that raceway. No tech, kid bitch going nuts like a payday. I been here that talking, it's glow way and no way.
Glow. Dark high when it's time for the glow. One time had a tone when it glow.
We making history in the Bay like we in Oracle. You know what I'm saying? Because the Warriors is in Oracle. Because they was in Oracle, you know what I'm saying? Pull up on us. Take Bart.
This is cool.
Really from the back, catch me dipping out that 80. St. Louis born for the layup, really fresh me. I'm holy and I'm hypey and I'm meek and I'm made. Sliding through your hood, no hard pass like the baby. 415 on the block cause I beat her. Out there living foul in the paint, throwing teaser. West known for fire, so tell they spirit heater. No problem saying, but a problem saying Jesus. Got it tatted on my heart, so 707 got it tatted on my arm. Harvest so bright, don't be catting on my farm. Glow gang on the devil neck like a charm.
Got a couple taking orders off the movement we made. Whole Bay asking what I gotta do to be saved. Passing the baton like how they doing relay. Glow gang coming up like Jesus did in 3 days. Man on the street, dirty bands on my feet. Oracle Arena, 30,000 fans out they see. Quit joking. 18 when I quit smoking. West P, but my mama living East Oakland. I know it's in my hands or what I need your guys' help. That's why I'm in the building and I'm healing myself. Glow gang moving silence, no revealing myself. How I'm moving, living water like I'm really like
Glow. Dark high when it's time for the glow. One time had a tone when it glow.
Save me from me, cause I feel like I'm losing it all. Deep in this pain, ain't no room left to fall. You gave me this gift and I gave it my all. I'm tired of losing, I need you to call, yeah. Call, yeah, call, yeah. I need you to call, yeah. Call, yeah, call, yeah. I need you to call what they say when you ain't no fall, wipe me down, walk it out, cut us out, raise me. Used to think that I was corny, cause they won't play me, but don't play me. Highline bling in to make it ring, ring, ring. Save me from me, cause I feel like I'm losing it all. Deep in this pain, ain't no room left to fall. You gave me this gift and I gave it my all. I'm tired of losing, I need you to call, yeah. Call, yeah, call, yeah. I need you to call, yeah. Call, yeah, call, yeah. I need you to call. Hello, what's up? I'm good, straight up, nothing much. I just needed you to show me some love. I've been fighting, kicking, pushing, trying to make it. I know that you love me, I just needed you to say it. Lately I've been down and I can't even fake it. Yeah, something got a hold of me and I've been trying to shake it. Shake, 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 shake the devil off. Shake it like a Polaroid. Can't say that. Save me from me, cause I feel like I'm losing it all. Deep in this pain, ain't no room left to fall. You gave me this gift and I gave it my all. I'm tired of losing, I need you to call, yeah. Call, yeah, call, yeah. I need you to call, yeah. Call, yeah, call, yeah. I need you to call.
Yo, what up? It's your girl Portia Love, and you want to feel with who? The Trackstarz.
All right, man. It's entertainment report time. It's so much, bro. It's so much. All right. So first off, honestly, I didn't know how to talk about the Gawvi situation, and I was like, well, and I talked to my wife about it, and I talked to the fellas about it. And so what we're gonna do, we're gonna have a conversation about it, in a few minutes after the entertainment report. But I'm gonna give you what happened and what the facts, so what we learned, and then we're going into details later. So, all right. So, the Gawvi situation started by Gawvi divorce. He posted a IG post that said, I'm getting divorced, blah blah blah, this and that, and then it got deleted. Then Catafat, known for her artwork and speaking out for women in our space, knew about the situation, tweeted out, years ago, I made an album artwork for Gawvi. For my next project, I'm going to make a collage of all the unasked for blank pics he sent to women while he was still married. Once that tweet hit, then retweets in the community started spreading and posts, and the crew posted something, and all this stuff just started changing everything. I think Reach Records knew about hearing some stuff from Lecrae and Trip on a podcast that they did just like a day ago. They talked about they knew about certain stuff, but I don't think they knew about everything. So Reach Records, with all this coming out about Gawvi, dropped them from the label and had a press release come out that stated, due to the behavior that is inconsistent with our core values, we have ended our professional relationship with Gawvi. This was a tough decision for us because of the level of complexity and because we invest in our artists, not just for their talent, but also as brothers and sisters in Christ. This is something we have been processing for over a year and have wrestled with what would be the right way forward. The new details that we provided made us realize today's decision was necessary. We also want our actions to be a reflection of love, care, and concern for those who fail and those who are affected by our failures. Each of us needs God's grace, and we invite you to pray for the families and individuals whose lives are being impacted. This is not a chance to throw anybody away. We continue to hope for restoration to be the outcome. We are saddened by the news, and our thoughts and prayers are for everyone involved, that healing may take place and ultimately God's will be done through this incredible difficult time. So yeah, man. So pray for everybody in this situation. It's very messy. It's very harsh. It's hitting everybody. I think it was like a tidal wave through the community this week, of so much stuff, man. So please lift up prayers for his wife, his kids, everybody. This is everybody, man. Just pray for the situation, man. So, all right. So let's get into some more some other news. Rapzilla 2022 freshman list nominees. You can go and vote for the nominees at Rapzilla.com. Voting ends next Thursday night, February 10th. some dope names they got on there. So I was like, wow, you can go vote for them. Shobaraka book nominated for an award. Shobaraka released his book in May of 2021. He saw that it was good with the subtitle Reimagining Your Creative Life to Repair a Broken World. Christianity Today nominated as a finalist for Best Faith-Based Fiction and Nonfiction for the Audibles. So for the Audies. So shout out to Shobaraka for his book. All right. Shout out to our girl Erin Knight launches the Excellence Academy. The Excellence Academy is an educational mentorship organization created to empower and equip both artists and executives with skills to effectively and consistently monetize their ideas. Established in January 2022 by seasoned industry veteran Erin Knight, it's the Excellence Academy, but it's also T, will include industry mentors from BET Music supervisors, Spotify team members, Billboard charting artists, Trippie Redd marketing team, Billboard charting artists, iHeartRadio, Reach Records executives, and Westbrook Media, which is Will and Jada Smith's production company. The Excellence Academy will serve as a hub for networking, education, and business development for music executives and entrepreneurs. Created T because excellence is a lifestyle, she said. You have to be able to execute at a high level in order to monetize your ideas. And I want to give creatives the keys to drive the careers and brands in a profitable direction. So, hey, man, they got a lot going on. If you want more information about this, you can go to www.theexcellentacademy.biz. Again, www.theexcellentacademy.biz. So shout out to her, man. She always doing big things, man. Just to see where Erin has gone, man, she's just amazing, man. Shout out to her. All right, man. Another big thing that happened this week in our space, Thizzle, man. If you haven't seen this live about Thizzle, man, you gotta go check it out. After the Gawvi situation happened, Thizzle went live a few days later. He had a CHH State of the Union type live. He talked about the following. He talked about women in CHH. He challenged the men in CHH to stop blaming women for stuff that men should take accountability for in their own lives. He talked about God/Jesus in CHH. He said he never seen Jesus behind the scenes in CHH. He said he heard Jesus in music and saw Jesus proclaimed from stages, but when it came to business and how things was handled, it's not Jesus. He said that. He also touched on that the OGs failed the new generation of CHH. He stated that he felt the new generation doesn't want to listen and take wisdom from the OGs. He feels some want to, but others he feels some want to do what they want to do without accountability. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he touched, of course, on the Gawvi Reach Record stuff. He touched on snakes in the industry. He touched on a Fanatic situation, which shocked me. The Fanatic one was like, yo, if you bringing war to us, it's wartime. I was like, oh, okay. So and he had many more. If you want to see the live, it's very good. It's on his Twitter page. He pinned it to the top, so you can just watch it. It's like an hour and some change, and man, it was a very good one. It was refreshing to hear it. It was very refreshing. So, all right, comment section this week. YB, Glass Ceiling, Roma Jesse and Not Clyde 222, Zay Hill, When It Hurts, a story by Isaiah Hill, New Tone, The Most High EP, DJ Standout, Comeback single, J Monty, Concert on Zion single, Stephen Malcolm, Respect single, Mowgli the Iceberg, Hypocrite single, KJ52 coming doing some stuff, Buster Bussin' single, and Deshaun Shantae Don't Riot single. All right, and you can hear some of them songs on the Milk playlist, our very own Milk playlist. And for all the lovers out there who love that R&B, Christian R&B, we got you too, the Feel Good playlist. Miss Ty Scott King, do you want to promote anything right here?
Yeah, for sure. No Greater Love is my latest single with Aaron J. So that's available on all digital outlets, and also One Way. I dropped something. I dropped a video. It's just one verse. People were like, wait, you need to drop a single. So One Way is also available. And then you can go back and get the whole catalog of stuff since forever, ever.
Dope. And that's it for me. Ryan, you got anything?
No. Just shout out to everybody who released on Nectar this week. We appreciate your support.
All right, let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tan, and DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Hey guys, this is Miracle from Trackstarz. I wanted to make sure you guys know all about the official Trackstarz Universe. So if you'd like a free Trackstarz t-shirt, yes, as well as free merch, discounts, and exclusive content, and of course, direct access to your favorite radio host, then this is for you. Make sure you go to trackstarz.com/official. That's trackstarz.com/official.
You are listening to the Trackstarz with Sean Tanner, Ryan Righteous, and DJ Jeremiah.
Right now, you're in the field with the Trackstarz.
Trackstarz.
Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, and DJ Jeremiah.
Right now, you're listening to the Trackstarz. You know what time it is. Yeah.
Hey yo, what's good? It's your boy Name Gay, Trackstarz music artist, and you are in the field with the family Trackstarz Radio.
Trackstarz Radio.
We got it in the field. Trackstarz. Get it, got it, good.
Ain't no podcast beef. We got respect for y'all.
Yeah.
But respect the grind, baby. Respect the grind. I gotta get the flex bombs today. Respect the grind.
Trap, but almost fell in it. Smart girl, dumb life, I was failing it. Then went to church one Sunday morning with my best friend. Heard the pastor say, you died of self, you live again. What did that mean? I had no clue. He was talking riddles. My destiny was on the line, my soul was in the middle. Then I got older, met Jehovah, and I understood. I'm here to do his work, he'll take my dirt, make it good. Cause we all born with a purpose in our DNA. Yet only some pursue fly high TSA. Yet only some will do what's needed to reach destiny. You can find me in that number, what was meant for me.
What we doing? I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm just coolin'. I had to change my mood in life. When I woke up, it's not just Judy. I like to move it. So please get out the way, excuse me. I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm just coming in. Hammer time number 2. What you gonna do when the tidal wave pull it with a top boom? Had to say a prayer on the floor like it's war room. I was in the courtroom, you was in your room. Every time the police came to my door, I just shook my head, knowing way better watch a cartoon. It's a whole life, y'all walk around looking so crazy. I ain't even gonna laugh, I'ma talk to him. You need to go change your life, yo man. You ain't been up in the kitchen with a plastic pen. Never did dirty, had to wash your hands. You ain't been so hurt that you could barely stand. Boy, you better not go out stupid. If it's gonna go up tonight, don't shoot it. I got the light on me, can't lose it. Why would you lose your life? That's foolish. I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm just coolin'. I had to change my mood in life. When I woke up, it's not just Judy. I like to move it. So please get out the way, excuse me. I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm just coolin'. Yeah. Hammer time boys in the building. What we doing?
Say something, move it. How about the whip, let's do it. Jump out the stage, I'm too lit. Jump back and get on the bus, I'm coolin'. I'm in the script making sure I don't slip while I'm fishing outside in the pool. I tell her, bro, I'm a show on the road, so I pull out my Bible to school. It's too many rappers who don't know their mission, they want my position. Too caught up in numbers, or caught up in wondering if I'm a Christian. Light of the world till the king is back. We out here smoking that demon pack. You could tell Lucifer go get his shooters and look for us anywhere Jesus at.
I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm just coolin'. I had to change my mood in life. When I woke up, it's not just Judy. I like to move it. So please get out the way, excuse me. I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm just coolin'. And I'm coming in.
What's good? It's Zonti. We follow Jesus. You know the movement. You're in the field with the Trackstarz. Yes, sir.
All right, back in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. What's good?
All right, for all things Trackstarz, you know, you got to go check out trackstarswithaz.com. You got to follow us on Instagram, like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and download the app. Right?
Okay, so obviously a lot has happened this week. We've been watching and seeing the reactions and knowing that our time would come and to talk about this, but we wanted to talk about it a little differently. You've heard all the news and all that kind of stuff, but I want to get into more so why is this happening? Why? And just in case you didn't know, this is not the first time this has happened. There's been a lot of stories of artists failing over the years. So I kind of want to talk about, and I'm gonna specify this towards the men, just because that's what we have been charged with doing over the years. Is we've been discipled a lot of young men over the years, and we've seen some fail and we've seen some succeed. So we have a little bit of insight on what can cause you to go either way. But I want to kind of really get into what's going on out here. Specifically for the artists, there seems to be, this is my take on it, all right? We started doing this in the early 2000s for the most part. And what I see is that a lot of the older artists were doing the same things that we're talking about today, but they were hiding it a lot better. What I'm noticing is that the newer artists, there's been an erosion of decorum publicly. Like they're more willing to do some of this stuff more publicly. But it's the same behavior that was done privately before. So what do we do? Which is worse? You know, a lot of people feel like what's happening now is worse. I understand why, because it's embarrassing to have all this stuff out in the open. But I'll say that I've seen a lot worse done privately when I was younger. This is an ongoing problem. I'll share why I think some of this is happening and what can be done, not just for artists, but for everybody out there listening, especially the men, because you know that's the experience I have. So I can't help too much beyond that. But what do you guys feel is causing these private failures and also seemingly more and more public shameless failures from a lot of these artists? Jeremiah, what you think?
Man, you know how this goes. Why you coming to me first?
Ryan begged me not to make him go first this time.
No, y'all know how this goes. I feel like Shaq. Y'all know the order. I think I kind of said this on our phone call. I think what it is people are not free to share their struggles. So I think in the past, where you said people hiding stuff, they hide it because they're like, well, if I share my stuff, it's the beat down comes. It's not grace.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, me and Sean could talk about this when people from our past church, from like we was in a group called Destinations, when somebody hit, like something came out, that person was like, it was almost like they got hazed almost, you know what I'm saying? Versus walking, like kind of like what Mr. Scott King said earlier, was like, or Mr. I'm sorry. Like Ty said earlier, like helping people walk through this, you know what I mean? And continue to walk with them even after restoration happened, you know what I mean? So I think for men, and like I said earlier, that I think men are scared to say what they are doing, and you know, and scared to just really share where they are, you know what I mean? Because if you share where you are, then now you're waiting for some people waiting for the judgment. Like, all right, come with the judgment. See what you're gonna say. You know what I mean? And I just think if more men would one accountability, I think that's real, and real accountability, not your homeboy accountability, not like yo Ryan, I messed up in this, and Ryan, like, oh, it's all good, bro. You mean you did that? You want that? You know what I mean? Not even like tough love, but just even enough real love to be like, okay, bro, what we need to do. You know what I mean? Do we need to do X, Y, Z? What we need to do? You know what I mean? Because I love you, but this is making me mad at you right now. You know what I mean? You keep falling in the same area. So I think that's one of the things. Real freedom. Real freedom. And what comes with real freedom is people really being open enough to saying, you know, this is where I am, especially men. I think that's the problem with men. And I think, honestly, kind of like what Bizzle was saying, like women ain't gonna go nowhere, bro. So you gotta change you. You know what I mean? You gotta want to say, you know what? There's a scripture in Job that says, I decided not to look lustfully at a woman. Like just like you gonna really have to really go there. You know what I mean? Or you just gonna be like, you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And if it is what it is, then you're going to go down that road. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? One door opens and then another door opens and another door opens, and you want to keep walking down that road into that trap. And man, I just say that for men, like, man. And like I said, I think all of us are on this podcast. We're just giving y'all advice. We're not saying like, you know, we got it together, because that's not our goal. You know what I'm saying? Our goal to be more like Christ, be more sanctified like him, and asking God to help us in areas that we know we need help in. But I would just say for men out there that I think freedom and really talking about it and really having a, not platform, but just having somebody that they could talk to. So that's my thoughts.
Ms. Ty Scott, what do you think is going on?
I agree with what Jeremiah was saying. It's a lot of, you know, people are scared to talk about how they're really going through stuff. But then I also think it could be also, I don't want to ruin my status, you know? Earlier I talked about how people put us on a platform, and then we kind of buy into that if we don't have the right level of accountability and understanding of the fact that God put us there, not people. But I do think that some people are concerned about losing, you know, people's favor, opportunities, money, because, you know, they're making money. This is for my family. This is how I support myself. And so that fear of losing all those material things, I think plays a big role in not wanting to admit what's going on either, because you're going to shun me, doors are going to get closed in my face, you know, it's all going to collapse. And I've definitely been there. I remember one time I thought I was texting this dude, and this was when I was in Platinum Souls. I thought I was texting this dude, and it wasn't anything crazy, but I texted my pastor's wife by accident. And she called me like, wait, what's going on here? Like, do we need to have a conversation? I mean, she was quick to snatch me up. And I think that's, people are concerned. Like a lot of times people who are put in our lives as artists to be accountable to us are just turning into yes men and yes women. We don't need that. We really need people who are like, look, you need to keep your soul grounded. Like, this platform is a blessing. You're not entitled to this. Like, you don't have to have this. God has given it to you, and you have a responsibility. So Ryan wouldn't know about that because he doesn't like Spider-Man, but you know, with great whatever comes great responsibility. So you know, I think it all these people who we allow into our circle, who we allow to speak to us, like Jeremiah was saying, you know, sometimes you just have people who are down for whatever. Like, oh, you fell yesterday. That's cool, man. You could get right back up on that stage. And I had people like that in my circle, and I had to let them go because I'm like, no, y'all don't understand this. These people are, God cares about these people. I can't just be out here doing whatever I want to do. And Butter P made a post, and I really appreciated it because she really focused on the fact that we are accountable to God first and foremost. And we have to live our lives in a way that reflects that. And I think that that's what's lost. God is just out there. He's not necessarily in this situation. When I'm texting this person, he's not looking over my shoulder. He's everywhere all the time. And we have a real responsibility to reflect his light at all times.
All right, Ryan, it's on you, bro. What you think?
Man, you know, first of all, I want to salute Thizzle. Because when I was listening to his video, he made so many points, right? He talked about you're gonna have to put this shoe on, and if it fits, it's on you, right? But if you put the shoe on, be ready for me to lace it up, right? That was a cool analogy because he was saying like, okay, if you want to step out here and find out whether or not you're one of these people, be prepared to have me tell you, you know, how to check yourself. And so I think that's what it's really about. You know, I talked to you guys about this scenario on our call about how a lot of this has to do with the environment, has to do with the way we're raised, it has to do with our values. It has to do with, you know, what we tried to leave behind when we walked into this Christian lifestyle, and whether or not we were honest about what we left behind or what we were dealing with at that time. And how now that we're in this lifestyle, now that we're sold out for Jesus, like what are the things that we still need to work with? Because God says, come to me as you are. And so when we come to him as we are, there's things that we still need help with. And I think that was one of the main things. When I talk about environment, I watched somebody go down a real dark, you know, not a dark hole, but I watched somebody, you know, give it all up because they couldn't stop smoking weed. Right. And I was like, well, you know, your job is dependent on you not smoking weed because they drug test randomly. And of course, this person got drug tested and they lost their job. And I was talking to him and I was just like, so what was it about that what is it that you cannot put that stuff down and walk away from it? And they just told me, they said, you know, it's real hard when you walk into your parents' house and it's on the kitchen table and you got your brother and your cousins and your sister all sitting there like, hey, right after dinner, we're going to light this up. And I thought about it and I was like, wow, that is really hard because you almost have to turn away the ones you love in order to get away from what you're trying to run from. And I think that's a lot of where we were raised, right? Like I know I came from a big background of, you know, men in my family who I think were womanizers, right? Things that I saw, things that I experienced, things that were told to me at a very young age. And I think a lot of us have a perverted way of seeing sexuality. And so we have to we have to be educated on those things. You know, I remember back in 7th grade when we had sex education, it was something everybody laughed at. Because again, when I was in 7th grade, people were already experimenting. They were already doing a lot of that stuff. So they kind of laughed it off. But I was kind of sitting there like, well, I guess I need to know this stuff. I mean, they're teaching it to me in school. So I think it's one of those things where we have to be reminded of where we are and what we're struggling with and where we are as a people and how many people might be dealing with it and where we can get the help. Right. And so I think that being able to educate I'm dealing with this right now where I've got an 8-year-old daughter and I'm thinking like any day now, we got to have this conversation. Right. So being able to educate, you know, and making sure that men are educated, making sure that women are educated, and then not letting them see too much on social media and movies and television, because it will teach your children things. It'll teach young adults things that are not right. And that's where Hollywood comes in to really pervert and distort what it is that God made sex for. And so when we have these sexual sins, it's because we have gotten way too desensitized to a lot of what we see. And I think a lot of times we can look at it and say, okay, well, I'm not as bad as this person, or I'm not doing as bad as that. Or, you know, it's like different things that we look at when we see sin, and we try to compare ourselves to other people. I think Dizzle talked about that as well, when it's like you see somebody falling and you're like, well, you use their fall to make yourself feel better. So I think that's where a lot of our problem comes in.
Yeah.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
The Blessing Report said Christians talk from vulnerability, restoration, and reconciliation instead of the Bible says put these people out of the church. They have crept into the church unaware. Wolves. This model's trash. Now, I forgot who on our call said this, and they said something that was really good. They said, do we have people in our church that we think are wolves in sheep's clothing, but they're already sheeps in wolves' clothing? And it was like, what that means is like, they just need somebody to help them out of that behavior, like Ryan just talked about. They need somebody to help them walk out a life that they never seen before. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody who comes in a church and they're a player and they're destroying the church, instead of just kick them out so they can go to another church, what about counseling for that person? What about, walking with them, men walking with other men to help them get to a better place? Because I know some stories of men that was in one place, but when they got with the right person and the right pastor and the right church, they became better men of God. So you can't just throw people away. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And open to it. Like if that person's open to it and say, you know what, I was wrong. I'll submit to you guys, whatever you guys need me to do to help me get over this, blah, blah, blah. And that's right. But I'm just saying, sometimes we just want to throw people out. And then you hear your friends at your other friend's church and like, yo, man, y'all know this dude? Like, yeah, we kicked him out of our church. Why y'all get, you know what I mean? So it's just like, you just creating church problems, just kicking people out of churches because they're going to find another church to go to.
Okay, so bear with me. Prophet Josiah challenged me to come up with some solutions. Now, this conversation is not for Gawvi. This conversation is for us. It's for people listening, people on the Zoom. What do we do to make sure we do not become this, right? And what are some things to help us to keep us, right? That's been my focus this entire week. Not to focus on the details of what happened to him, but to be like, okay, let me make sure I'm okay. Let me make sure the people that are really trying to be okay are going to be okay, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, you have to make sure you actually believe this. If you don't believe this and you're pretending or you're doing this because it's easy money or whatever, it's not going to work. You're going to fail. Number two, and this one is hard for me to articulate because I know a lot of us struggle with this part, but you have to watch what you're taking in. What I mean by that is, I know I'm not gonna say I don't watch certain things that are crazy, right? Like Game of Thrones, Succession, this and that, right?
Power.
I've never seen Power, but
that's what I'm saying.
So what I'm trying to say is that I know we have different varying degrees of what we can handle and all that kind of stuff. But even, and this is for me too, even when you think you're handling it well, those things tend to leave deposits. They tend to cause slight shifts in what you feel about God, whether you like it or not, whether you want it to happen or not. Even the most well-meaning Christian, if you're taking in stuff, even if you're not taking in things that are quote unquote bad, I'm talking about any podcast, social media, movies, TV shows, whatever it is, they cause little shifts in your heart, like especially when there's people you admire. They'll say something that's like it's a little bit off, and you're like, but I like them so much, So and it just leaves a little deposit, and it shifts your heart in slight little ways. So the reason I know that this is possible, even when you're trying to make sure it's not, is I decided to take a year off of listening to music, not just secular music, but all music, gospel, everything, right? And I noticed that in that year, you start to realize how much that music and that content affected you, even when you didn't realize it was affecting you. So you're going to have to take my word for you, because I don't recommend anybody else do that, because it was terrible. But just be careful. Like, just be aware of how your heart is moving. Like, you can tell, like, man, I'm starting to be sympathetic to this thing that I wasn't sympathetic to. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? See what I'm saying? Culture is not necessarily bad. God used culture. The Bible writers used culture all the time to, they grabbed there's little details about culture you can grab and kind of pull people in so they understand the Bible more or understand God more. So it's not bad, but you have to make sure that culture is not pulling you in. All these different things that, have been happening in politics and race and little shifts in theology of like reform versus this versus that. All these things can like slowly shift your heart. You just got to watch that. You kind of have to take a break when you need to. All right, that's the best I could do with that. Next thing that came to my mind was this whole thing about accountability. Me and Jeremiah were part of a church and a part of a artistry team where if you messed up, it was the end of the world, right? You're getting sat down. It was going to be embarrassing. It was everything that I think everybody thinks we're missing, that accountability piece, right? That corporate accountability. But the problem with that and why I started with how I witnessed the old artists tend to hide their sin is because you knew that if you confessed this sin or you were found out to be committing some sin, you knew it was going to be embarrassing, it was going to be terrible, it was going to be painful. You just got better at hiding it, right? So instead of getting help, you would just be like, well, it's not so bad yet. Let me see if I could kind of navigate my way through it on my own, right? I don't want to go through this big embarrassing getting sat down, people wondering why you're not performing anymore. I'm just going to kind of try and handle it on my own. All right. So that's the danger there. However, the other thing that I want to really highlight is that if your ability to sin and not sin is based on if somebody is watching you and calling you out, that's not good enough. There should be some internal desire to please God that is enough to keep you away from committing sins on a day-to-day basis. There should be some internal like, man, God, I don't want to disappoint you myself, without Ryan's being like, hey, I saw you on this website, or I saw, like, that shouldn't be what it takes to get you to not sin. There should be some internal something there. But the external, me being able to call Ryan and say, hey, Ryan, I'm thinking about this and that, to be able to have somebody to say, Sean, that's not good. Sean, you probably shouldn't do that. Sean, why don't you do this instead? Both of those are necessary. You got to have the internal drive on your own to do it, and you also have to have people around you helping you through that when you start messing up. It's not one or the other, right? So that's what I wanted to highlight there. And the last thing is I want to just say this for everybody out there. If you already find yourself sinning, if you already find yourself cheating on your wife, having sex before marriage, having sex between marriages, porn, whatever it is, that big sin, right? You've already gone too far. There's no way to clean this up on your own anymore. It's going to be embarrassing. It's going to be painful. That's just how it's going to have to be. It's too late. You're going to have to decide to walk that painful road back to a good place, or you're going to be gone forever. So if you're in that situation now, you're going to have to take that walk back. It's too late. If you think you can manage it on your own, you can't. You're going to have to confess this to somebody, and they're going to have to walk you back through it. So if you find yourself in a Gawvi situation, there's no running from it. You have to go through that process. And being able to go through that process and come back will free you. I've seen a lot of people develop scales over their heart, hardened hearts towards sin, where they don't even care anymore that they do it. It's too late. If you get to that point, it's going to take way too much pain to come back. Make sure you don't get that far to where you're just like, you know what? This isn't even wrong. Be careful, man. Like, I'm starting to see that happening in the church, and you're going way too far if you get to that point. So hopefully some of this helps. Hopefully you don't even get to the point where you need to be disciplined. Take a break from some of this media stuff. Even when you go back, the whole point is, as a Christian, your responsibility is to go back to the source. You have to go back to the Bible and wash yourself off of all this culture, right? Even wash yourself off of all the stuff that you were taught. Sometimes when we say we're going back and studying the Bible, what we're really doing is going back to the people who taught us and trying to remind ourselves of what they taught us. But those people are fallible. They don't know everything. You have to go back to the actual Bible and read it yourself and make sure that what somebody taught you, your pastor from wherever long ago, their conclusion of what they read may not be the truth. You have to make sure you go back to the source and get the truth. So hopefully some of that helped. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was at a wedding, and you know how you guys know I talk to anybody and I just say hello. If I walk up to the table and somebody's sitting there and I don't know them, I just say hello. And I started talking to this guy that was sitting across from me, and he started just kind of opening up to me, and I wasn't even expecting it. You know, we weren't talking about anything. We were just talking about marriage. I was telling them that I think we had just had our second daughter, and we were talking about, you know, all these different things. And he all of a sudden was just like, yeah, you know, I used to be married, and then I lost my marriage to pornography and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, wow. He was like, oh, he said, I'm sorry to hear that. He's like, oh, no, it's okay. I'm a part of a group. And he was just like, I was like, a group? And he was like, yeah. He said, it's like 500, 600 pastors, men of God that are a part of this group that meet every week, and they deal with their sexual sin. And I was just like, oh, really? I was like, this is a group? Is it Facebook? He was like, no. He said, it's an actual group. He said, but you have to be invited in. Your pastor has to invite you in. And I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, it's like 600, 700 pastors that are in this group, and, you know, we're dealing with it. And I was just like, wow, that was like an eye opener for me, because I was just like, I never would have thought that, you know, that was happening with pastors. I never would have thought that it was happening with so many. And then they keep it secret. He was like, it's completely secret, completely confidential, because everybody in the room has confessed that that's what their issue is. And I was just blown away by that. But he was telling me that him and the people that he dealt with, he was like, we are helping each other. So, you know, nothing to be sorry about. And I was like, wow, that's okay. Admirable. But it really made me think too. It really made me think about, like, you know, when we deal with sin, it's just so great of a weight for most of us, and for so many of us as Christians, when we have left that life behind, right? And you're trying to be something that you're not. Like, I thought I was doing something good, you know, waiting until I got married and all that good stuff. Because I was like, okay, well, if my dad did this and my uncles did this and my cousins did this, well, if I do this, then I'll be fine, right? And so I realized that when one of my friends told me, he was like, you live with a chip on your shoulder. He was like, you think this defines who you are. You think this makes you better than other people, other Christians. And I was like, no. And he was just like, watch, you'll see. And so when I lost that identity after I got married, we talked about this before, it made me realize, like, okay, everything around me is at my exposure, right? Everything around me is up to me to stay away from this and stay away from that. And you have to cut people off. You have to cut situations off. You have to cut, the past off. And so I think it's just one of those things where it's a progression thing. Like Sean said, you get with the right people, you stay around the right people, and you just continue to let God use you, continue to let God build you up.
Ty, do you, one thing that came up this week was, do the ladies in the CHH space feel safe? I've been really disappointed with the men. Send in pictures of their stuff all over the place. There's been several stories of that. Do you feel protected? And did you, when you were on Platinum Souls, feel protected?
Yeah, I felt like I had guys around me who were very concerned about me, because I was usually the only female in a lot of the spaces. So they were like brothers, and they really took care of me. But there were, you know, as you said, this is nothing new. So there were a lot of guys who were unfortunately doing just a lot of shady stuff. And so I could see other women being impacted by the things that they were doing and not feeling safe. The first time I went to a big Christian hip hop thing, I was shocked to see the way some women were dressed, the way some guys were acting. And I was like, what is the difference? This seems just like the world to me. So that was concerning, but I always felt safe, but I knew that there were women in my circle who did not feel safe and who had encounters with men that were not acceptable, that we had to call out so that the other guys would fix it. You know, it's like, well, I don't know if you talked to him, but you need to go check him because he's doing X, Y, Z. So we were basically taking accountability for each other as women and going to the guys who we know didn't play that and challenging them, really, and forcing them to go talk to your dude. Like, he's out here just going crazy. So, and I think it takes a lot of that for the women to really stick together and continue to call people to the mat and say, this is unacceptable. Because if we're not acting like it's a problem, then it just perpetuates the whole thing where it's like, well, they're okay with it, or she's okay with it, or, you know, and if we don't say anything and stand up for each other, then it basically all just keeps falling apart.
Wow. Man, this is a good talk. Hopefully it's helpful to anybody out there. Man, if y'all are struggling with this now, man, please reach out to me. I won't speak for the other guys. I believe the same thing. But if you're a young man in this space and you feel frustrated and you feel like you're kind of stuck in a bad situation, we're opening ourselves up to reach out. We're here to help you guys as best as we can. We're not perfect either, but we can share with you what we've learned through our struggles over the years as well. So please hit us up. Like, literally, Sean at Trackstarz.com, Ryan, Jeremiah, those are the names. And tell us your stories and we'll try to help you as best as we can. Just pray for his wife. She's been through a whole lot, more than you know. And just pray for her, man.
Children too.
Children,
kids,
man.
She went through a lot dealing with it, and she tried her hardest. So please keep them in mind. All right, let's get back into it. You in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Hey guys, this is Miracle from Trackstarz. I wanted to make sure you guys know all about the official Trackstarz Universe. So, if you'd like a free Trackstarz t-shirt, yes, as well as free merch, discounts, and exclusive content, and of course, direct access to your favorite radio host, then this is for you. Make sure you go to trackstarz.com/official. That's trackstarz.com/official.
Yo, what up? This is Triple D, aka Dayton, representing God Over Money and the Menace Movement, and you're in the field with the Trackstarz. Yo.
All right, back in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. What's good?
All right, this segment is sponsored by Nectar Distribution. You have an opportunity right now, over 200 plus digital outlets for you to submit your music and get sent out all over the place. And then while you're there, check out the Single Maximizer. One click of a button, filling out a form one time can send your music to over 2,000 outlets. So make sure you check out Single Maximizer and Nectar today. All right.
All right, man. It's line for line time. Let's get it going. We're gonna have fun, Mr. Ty, we better have fun. All right. So what this is like a back and forth, mainstream versus Christian. You may like it, you may not. I hope it's cool. It's just fun. We have fun. It's your personal opinions based on 30-second clips, and you gotta like pick between the two. You know what I'm saying? And you get one toss. You know what I mean? One toss for 6 rounds. You know, it's just fun. We have fun here. This is the fun part. It's a little heavy today, so we want to be fun and with some fun. All right, so here we go. We're gonna start off. This is Andy and Drake. You know what I'm saying? Line for line. This is the catalog edition. You know what I'm saying? So the views and opinions of the Trackstarz Universe, not the views and opinions of artists, label, producer, and others. If you're offended by this, please press stop now. If you're a person listening to Christian artists ain't your cup of tea, we understand. We reasonable people here. We have reaction videos, topics, interviews you can check out. We're not copying any other battle format. We've been doing this since 2000. Andy's not the Christian version. Anybody is just a bit. All right? So here we go. We're going to start off with number uno. We're going to start off with Drake. We made it. Here we go.
If they with me, just know that they with it and bout it. If I said it, I meant it. There's no way around it. OVO reps up, man. P Rain is next up. Watch G-Way go crazy. When Baka came home for the holidays, I was like, Woogie, we made it. And all of those lawyers, I paid it. My family get all of my loyalty, all of my patience. My life for your life, man, I wouldn't trade it.
All right, that was We Made It by Drake. This is You Will by Andy Mineo. Here we go.
straight Brooklyn. Oh, your life so hard, why don't you face your problems, don't Facebook them. Say you try to make the straight crooked with the porn sites, but I ain't looking. I got bands that'll make her dance, that's a wedding ring for my wife. Bling, I'ma say that twice. Bling, ladies, if you ain't got one, don't give him none. True love is waiting, and you so worth that. I know you heard some bull crap, but if you're headed on the wrong path, go ahead and turn back. You're never too far to be made new. They said you damaged good, that ain't true. I testify to that, I ain't lying, Jack.
All right, that was You Will by Andy Mineo versus Drake. We made it. Who y'all going with?
Ryan.
Oh, Andy all day on that one.
Andy.
Hi.
Love it.
Andy. Trentana.
I'm gonna go Drake on this one.
Drizzy.
Yeah.
Me too. I'll go with Drizzy. So it's 2-2.
Okay, it's up to y'all. It's just the vibe of it. I liked it a little better.
Whatever.
I appreciate why you guys like it. I'm just saying. To me, it's a little better. What y'all got?
Dang, Prophet tossed already? Okay.
That's not smart. What y'all got? You only get one toss even out there. Oh, Andy won.
Andy caught the vibe. Okay, Andy got it. 3-2. The score is 1-0 right now. So there we go. All right. So we're gonna start off with Andy this time. You Can't Stop Me. Here we go.
You don't see where I'm going. You only see in the moment. You know my mistakes. You never let go. Don't cease to amaze me, and it drive me crazy. Did you catch every detail that I missed in the songs I'm making? Saying you will never write a verse like Kendrick, never be the rapper I got from Hendrix. Top 10 alive, you will never be mentioned. Why aim so high, won't survive the trenches? Plus, you a Christian, Andy. They will never listen, Andy. Plus, we a pigment, Andy. You don't got skill, you a gimmick, Andy. Well, if I listen to you and everything you put in my ear, I'll be living like woulda, shoulda, coulda. I'll be paralyzed.
Woo, that was You Can't Stop Me by Andy Mineo. This is Drake. What's next? Here we go.
If I can't just be with you and only you. Yeah, I got one Virgil, got one, and that day is the only two, man. How many times have I shown and proved, man? How many nights I've been woke, swerving the potholes, not trying to put the wheels on the road, okay? Funny how life goes. He thought he was sick, now we wiping his nose, okay? Soon as you give him your soul, you blow up and they say you're selling your soul, okay? They want my life exposed, they want to know about the highs and lows. Well, summer all I did was rest, okay? And New Year's all I did was stretch, okay? And Valentine's Day I had sex, okay?
I don't know if we think that's okay, but what's next? Drake or You Can't Stop Me, Andy? Who y'all going with?
I think that's gonna be an easy toss for me.
Really?
Early?
Yeah, because I don't, you know what I mean? Like, first of all, y'all know how I feel about Andy. Like, Andy is my guy. So for Drake to even get my attention is big, because y'all know Drake don't really get my attention like that with most of his songs.
Okay. Ty.
Old Drake, yes, but not new Drake.
Andy.
Andy. Okay.
I got Andy as well. What you got, Jeremiah?
That What's Next goes, man. But You Can't Stop Me goes extremely well too. I ain't gonna toss like Ryan though.
Ashley,
I am gonna go with You Can't Stop Me by The Edge.
Ashley hit a super chat?
Yeah, but she didn't say who she voting for.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We had a super chat on the last one too.
Yeah. I just texted Ashley. She super chatted for me, so it's a Andy vote.
So is Andy online?
This ain't the place to lie. I'm sitting in the church. All right, so what was it between us?
It was nothing. Drake didn't get a vote. So
it's all Andy here?
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan tossed. Okay.
Yeah, right.
How is that a lie and not a joke, John? Why you gotta call it a lie?
All right. Right now the score is 2-0 Andy. Right. So we're gonna start off with Andy this time. This is round 3. No, that's right. Here we go. All right, that was Andy Mineo. No, that's right. It's Drake, best I ever had. Here we go.
And you don't even have to ask twice. You can have my heart or we can share it like the last slice. Always felt like you were so accustomed to the fast life. Having thinking that he met you in a past life. Sweatpants, hair tied, chilling with no makeup on. That's when you're the prettiest. I hope that you don't take it wrong. You don't even trip when friends say you ain't bringing Drake along. You know that I'm working, I'll be there soon as I make it home. And she a patient in my waiting room. Never pay attention to the rumors and what they assume.
All right. That was best I ever had. Drake. Andy Mineo's Know That's Right. Who y'all going with?
Ryan.
Oh man. I'm trying to remember okay, got it. Yeah, I'm gonna go Drake. There's a hook that I was thinking about, but I think that's a Lil Wayne hook, so the hook would have thrown me off. But yeah. Okay, best I ever. Yeah, okay.
Ty.
I'm gonna go Drake.
Drake. We got a super chat for Drake as well.
I said Drake too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Drake on this as
Drizzy.
well. Classic. The lyrics in that were very creative. They got one. What you got, Jeremiah?
No, that's right. I like that. Just an inch better.
Really? Then best I ever had.
Yeah, I do.
All right. So
I don't know what they say
it's
online.
3-1.
Oh,
here.
it's Drake online.
Drake online.
It's 4-1. It's 5-1 now because the online was Drake. All right, so Drake is on the board. He's got on the board.
So what's the overall?
1-2. Andy. 2-1. Andy.
Wow. Okay.
All right, here we go. We're gonna start off. We're gonna start off with Drizzy. Worst behavior. Here we go.
Who not? Tell me who rock, who sell out in the store. You tell me who flop, who copped a new drop, who jewels got rocks, who else making rap albums doing numbers like it's pop. Same old pimp, Drake. You know ain't nothing changed with these funny style we done put on in the game. I just asked for some blessings at my grandmother's grave, then it's back to LA. Open the mail, staring at the check, enough to make you throw up, man. It's gross what I net. I'm with my whole set, tennis matches at the crib. I swear I could be Serena when she playing with her left. Oh, where I reside, it look like a resort aside. Where bitch from? I imported mine. Ball miss from.
All right, that was worst behavior. Drake. This is Andy Mineo. I ain't done. Here we go.
Just came out of the winter. Just came out like a winner. Had a breakdown, could've stayed down, figure. Rather die trying than to live like quitter. Woo, yeah, my problem big, but I know God way bigger. What you expect once you level up? Don't you know the boss is bigger? Yeah, used to spend a lot of time daring myself. Then I spent a lot of time comparing myself. Turning to the doubt, then the fear of myself. Overthinking to the point I wasn't pairing myself. Now I know why Chappelle went missing. Now I know why Brick got the Clippers. Now I know why Ye.
All right, that was I ain't done. Andy Mineo versus worst behavior. Drake. Who y'all going with?
Ryan.
Yes, I'm gonna go with that. Andy Mineo, man. First of all, just took me back to my my old days when I had bass in my car. If I had that song, whoa.
He's not lying.
Y'all know, quick story about my bass in my trunk when I was in high school. My bass was so loud that at the red light, my trunk would pop open. That's how loud my bass was in my car when I was in high school. So yeah, that song would have hit so hard. Yes.
You guys have no idea how Ryan was about cars back in the day, but Jesus saves.
Still is.
Jesus saves.
Still is.
All right, what you got, Ty?
I'm gonna go with Andy.
Andy, I ain't done.
I'm gonna go with Drake, and mostly because this song, mixing and mastering wise, is a masterclass. Like, the way I assume 40 helped with this, but this is one of the crispest songs. Like, I've used this song as a reference to make sure my song was loud enough. It's like as loud as a song can get without sounding distorted. I don't know how he achieves that, but it's ridiculous. So I got worst behavior.
I am too going with worst behavior. That song.
Somebody hit Drake by mistake. Yo, take off a percentage for Drake.
Nah, it's just one of those songs when it's like it's one of the most cockiest songs from Drake. Like, it's just like I can't explain it. It's a like And I think the song is about Kendrick, honestly. I think that half of that album, Nothing Was the Same, was like him throwing shots at Kendrick. But it was just like, it just got moments. And then the video got moments too. So I'm going to go with Drake. But that's not enough because online, Andy.
Did we have any super chats though?
We did, and it was for Andy. So with that being said, it is I Ain't Done took Worst Behavior out. So it's now 3.
Don't know about that one, guys.
It's now 3-1. Andy. All right. So we're gonna start. Who did we start off with first last time? Did we start off with
Drake? Start with Andy. You start with Andy like 3 times in a row.
We started with Drake last time.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we did. Worst maybe. All right. So we're gonna start off with Andy coming in hot. Here we go. Woo!
Yeah, I'm a bright young man.
Tough.
Kill the GPA and the BPM. Look, we on. So say what you say, cause that's A with Lecrae. From the A train to the A, I'm coming in hot. I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot.
Nothing can beat this.
Okay.
Nothing can beat this. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it.
You may be
Hate
right.
me all you want, YouTube. Nothing can beat this. Let's go.
We'll see.
All right, here we
Let's
go.
go.
That was coming in hot by Andy. This is Free Smoke. Drake. Here we go.
Mirror vow to the face though. I drunk text J-Lo. Old number so it bounce back. Boy wonder got to bounce back. Used to get paid for shows in front door. Money 5, 10, 20s hand sanitized. How do you count that? Me and Gibble was about that. Eating Applebee's and Outback. Southwest no first class. Hilton rooms got to double up. Writing our name on a double cup. We ain't even have a tour bus. Girls wouldn't even think of recording me. I fall asleep in sororities. I had some different priorities. Weezy had all the authority. Women I like was.
All right, that was Free Smoke.
That was the best
Drizzy.
matchup you've ever done, Jeremiah.
Andy.
In life.
That dude, you know who you sound like right now? You sound like Kanye telling Saha, yo, if that was your best ghostwriting, that sucked, man. I've been doing this for almost 20 years.
That's the best one,
15
bro.
years.
That was
all right,
hard.
Free Smoke, Drake, coming in hot. Andy, who y'all got?
Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, still coming in hot because that's the Free Smoke didn't vibe like coming in hot. And I don't care who you are. You tell Will Smith that he didn't use Free Smoke on his intro to TikTok. He used coming in hot. So hey,
Ty.
It is what it is.
You're reasonable.
Live with it. Deal with it.
Ty.
I really like Drake's flow on that, but I
It could have been Dre that wrote it.
I will go
Dre that
Andy.
wrote it.
Dre ain't writing nothing, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna.
What did you go with, Ty? I'm sorry.
I went with Andy.
Oh, Andy. Okay.
Andy. I'm going to have to toss this one.
Toss
Both
it
of them
up.
are B songs. Both of them. So since I have a toss, I'm going to use it here. This is the time.
Latrink Lee, you said $4.99. You gave us some money. Thank you for that donation, but I don't know what you paid. Oh, Andy. Okay. Wow.
Oh, is it Latrinka?
The trick. Yeah. I'm going
Hey.
All right. So that was
Jerry's wife.
5-0 for Andy, which makes him 4-1. Wow.
Shout out. Thank you, Latrinka.
The score is 4-1. Wow.
This is it. This is it.
We're gonna have to have
Yo,
Ty
this
back
is what-
more often. She
this
and I
is-
have voted the exact same the whole way through. You got to come back more often.
You have found an ally.
I found my twin, my voting twin.
Right.
That's funny.
Jeremiah.
All right, here we go.
This
We're going
is
to start
big.
off with Drake one first. God's plan. Here we go.
I've been moving calm, don't start no trouble with me. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. Don't pull up at 6 a.m. to cuddle with me. You know how I like it when you loving on me. I don't wanna die for them to miss me. Yes, I see the things that they wishing on me. Hope I got some brothers that outlive me. They gon' tell the story was different with me. God's plan, God's plan. I hold back sometimes.
All right, that was God's plan. Drizzy Drake. This is Andy Been About It. Here we go.
I'm a young man, getting what I came for. Cause I work hard, I got everything I prayed for. Money came fast, so now I take my day slow. Me and Craig, just like MJG and A-Ball. Talk that talk. I just bought her flowers on a weekday. Baby, why would I cheat? You my cheat day. You a treat, that's right. You a snack. Fighting with your jeans, cause you got it like that. Well, okay, tell me what y'all fake. Mad about the date, now I'm great. Cause I remember when I ain't have a way on a date. Only had enough to pay for me.
All right, that was Been About It by Andy versus Drake. God's Plan. Who y'all going with?
Wow.
Man, I've been about it. Come on now. Talk that talk. Go, Andy.
Ty.
Ah.
I got a toss, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm using it.
That's a
That means we still evened out though. You know what I mean?
That's
We
that.
voted
That's
my
divergent.
twin.
That's divergent. I am going.
I already used
to,
mine. So.
I am going to. This is the second place to use your toss. Very, very wise. Which is the better song? They're both very good. Man, I'm gonna give the edge to Drake. If you force me to listen to one of them, it'll be Drake.
I would
Sure,
say,
that was God's plan, Sean. Okay.
I would say that's one of the biggest songs on Spotify, and I'm gonna go with God's Plan.
God's Plan.
Yeah.
All right, what's up to y'all? What y'all got?
Glad to know what sways you, DJ.
How big is it?
Yeah, it was big on Spotify.
No,
Jesus,
it was
you
big.
know.
It was
Big,
right?
Lord.
It was
I'm
a
gonna say.
billion streams on Spotify. It's still going. Why you hating?
Jesus said, "I've been about it," and you like, but it's God's plan. I mean, what can I do?
The video where he was giving out money, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's God.
He wasn't doing album covers over. He was being resourceful with his money.
All right.
Sure. You didn't even see the video, so you don't know what I'm talking about.
Even know. Andy,
Mr. Vote Christian.
Did Andy win online? I don't see the poll.
Andy won online.
Okay.
I did see guys playing video.
Talking about Been About It. So,
Been About It?
Yeah.
Just one time.
All right, so the final score was 3-2.
We got to do a music
Drake.
video. We need to do a music video edition of Line for Line.
Yeah, that
where
would be
the
pretty
video
dope.
the video plays into your vote too. That would be dope.
Yeah, that'd be pretty dope.
Ooh, that would be real.
All right,
dope.
so that round went to Drizzy, and the score ends up being 4-2, Andy Mineo. So, you know, this was the catalog
beat
edition.
Drake.
I probably could have made some more songs from Drake.
So
Andy won that?
So based
Yeah.
on this, we're saying this Line for Line
God's
is
plan.
declaring definitively that Andy is better than Drake. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
I think so.
yes. I've been
think
saying
we're not
that
to do this
since.
no more.
I've been saying that since Sea Light days, man. What are y'all talking about?
We have been saying this for a while. We have. We really
We said the
have.
same thing about NF and Eminem. Like we thought, you know, for years we thought for the especially Twin Tunes that NF was killing Eminem, and then we did his last week, and it was like.
I'll just say
I don't
there's
know.
nothing that Drake can do that Andy can't do. That's for sure. There's nothing he can do that Andy can't do.
I think
they're very
I think
close.
Andy's I'll say this. I've listened to more Andy music than I listen to Drake, so I'm probably gonna get yelled at for saying this, but I think Andy is just so creative, and I don't hear that matched with all the Drake songs I've heard in the past.
But you know what's so funny? Drake is starting to do what Andy does visually, though. Like when you think of I'm Too Sexy video, like the silly stuff in those videos, like the silly stuff that he's done, like Andy was
More
doing certain
produced,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Yeah. And not produced, but I'm talking about like visuals, like being silly and being fun and having fun. In your
Yeah,
videos.
like
For
you
some
think
years,
about
it was always
Paisano's Wildin'.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
or even
that was
even
a-
You
that
Can't
was a
Stop
good
Me. The
video.
video for You Can't Stop Me is a very fun
Yeah.
video. You know what I mean? And for years, Drake would be always
Jermaine-
just showing the money and girls and cars.
Jamel
and all
said it's not fair because Andy is really influenced by Drake. Now, if that's true, that's even more embarrassing, right? So we'll leave that there. But
Give me
I
that
actually-
mic, Grandpa.
I actually think Drake is
Give me
is
that mic.
amazing. And I actually love when Drake was rapping, you know, before he just started not. I thought Drake was one of the best flows in hip hop. So
who knows? Maybe Andy was writing for Drake at the time. You know, who knows?
Dang, you gotta let that go. Hey, if you're not a part of the official universe, round 7 today is gonna be crazy. Please join official universe. Log in now. We're about to switch over to that. Thank you, Miss Ty Scott King, for joining us. You know she's a G when she stays the whole show. Thank you so much.
Yeah. She's moving silence like lasagna.
Tell people how to find you and support you.
Yeah, for sure. If you go to my website, tyscottking.com, it'll take you everywhere social media related. That's TYSCOTTKING.com. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing up, man.
All right, let's get back into
it. Get in my book.
You in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Now, I'm in the field with Trackstarz right now. I had a blessed time. Hopefully, you guys are listening. If you're not, then you're losing.